crash and burn.
Hey everyone, so tonight, yeah, it's a little after 8. So tonight, I am going to be discussing the Flashbulb's first full length for Sublight Records. This was released, I believe, back in 2004, and the record in question is Red Extensions of Me. Now, I heard this record sort of out of sync. The first record of the Flashbulbs that I'd gotten my hands on was Curly & Selections, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And it was like a non-stop, it was like in like a non-stop play situation where it was going pretty much every chance I got. Every time I listened to music, I was listening to that record by the Flashbulb. And so naturally, I figured this Flashbulb guy is bound to have other records out. And yeah, he did. And there was Red Extensions of Me, and it was his first release for Sublight. And so I bought that, and I don't think I've ever really liked this record. Now, I will say, it's listening to it more as I have recently, my opinion has shifted somewhat, whereas prior to me listening to it more recently, I couldn't really find anything good to say about it. Back then, I would have categorized this as saying that, like, it sounds like one really long song with, you know, whereas technically that was wrong because each song does sound different from the song before it and the song after it. The quickest way for me to sum this record up in the past would have been just to say that it was one really long song. And I have said that to people over the course of time. And now that I've been listening to the record again, I mean, I know that's obviously not true. I always kind of knew it wasn't true, and I was just saying it to sum it up quickly. But I have been able to find a handful of songs on here that I do genuinely love. And those would be The Third Lawn Wake, that's track 4, and then Sunrise Jewel, which I'm not sure if that's a typo, and J-U-L was supposed to end with a Y, so it's Sunrise July. But the track is, it's technically Sunrise Jewel, whatever the hell that is, assuming that has some meaning in and of itself that's completely independent from the word July. I have no idea. That's on here. If Trees Could Speak is on here as well as The Sun and the Star and Black Lawn Finale. Those would be sort of like my standout tracks from these records that prior to listening to it more recently, like I've never really been able to find anything like that on here. And I'm glad that happened. And I'm glad actually that I was able to find a handful of songs from this record that I ended up really liking after all this time, because I bought this right after I got Curly & Selections, and I'm pretty sure I bought that right when it came out, and that would have been, I think, 2006, 2007, and that's when I bought it. So I bought this within a few months at most, and I doubt it was a few months of purchasing Curly & Selections. I grabbed this. So I've been wrongfully disliking this record since approximately 2006, give or take. And I am glad that I'm very wrong in that regard now. I can say that this record has a hell of a lot more going for it than I previously thought. It's almost like a small part of me wishes I could talk to the people that I discussed this record with way back when and apologize for saying like it's one long song, because that couldn't be further from the truth. This record, like I said, it has grown on me considerably, and it has a lot to offer. So, whereas I will argue back, though, it's not nearly as deep or as textured or as layered or as, I guess, multi-leveled. There's a word I'll use, multi-leveled. It makes no sense, but I'm going to use it anyways. As multi-leveled as the Curly & Selections were, I found Curly & Selections to sort of be his magnum opus of pretty much his entire discography. I really liked Reunion. I thought Arboreal was fun. But it's like with every new release and every record from the Flashbulb that I've bought since, I've always been kind of holding on to the hope that it'll be like Curly & Selections. So I should probably stop doing that. That's kind of like a bad way to think about new releases from somebody as talented as Ben Jordan. So I think I'm going to leave that there. It's pushing 5 minutes. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for almost 5 minutes while I discussed the Flashbulb's first full-length for Sublight Records, and that is Red Extensions of Me, released back, I believe, in 2004. Like always, if you liked this little discussion here, don't forget to do something nice for somebody, and even if you didn't, still do something nice for somebody. Thanks again. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.